Hello, hello. Hello. I'm just putting in the last few things. My internet had some issues right now. Okay, seems to be good now. Bah, 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 bah. Seems that okay now. Seems to be okay. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm nearly ready. Nearly ready. Nearly ready, nearly ready. Okay, should be ready. I'm not sure, but fine. So much stuff. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Where am I? Where am I? Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to another stream of Plane Shift, the game that was never finished and probably never will be. But doesn't mean that it's not playable, right? The game is playable even if it's not finished. Right. So we are working on the dungeon generation. I think we reached a decent point. Still the dungeon looks a bit empty overall because it's missing like furniture or other pieces, but we can add those pieces also later. At the moment, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to have the main logic of the generation correct, and in particular, I am trying to wait. Let me do the usual switches. In particular, I'm trying to determine the difficulty of the dungeon, right? So to tie the difficulty of the dungeon to some specific parameters, right, that we have. I think this screen will not be enough anymore, but I think we need to define the overall difficulty, right, of the overall difficulty of the dungeon. Yeah, I think I need to create a new one, boys. It's too much. I need to create a procedural dungeon generation 2. We will leave the one there, and so yup. So we need to define the difficulty, right, of our dungeon, and we also need to define the loot, right? Because in reality, difficulty and loot go together somehow. Well, they may or may not, but in theory they somehow go together, right? And I think we didn't call it loot; we called it loot quality. I think it was loot quality, right? So the loot quality, I mean, we leave it on the side for a second, but the difficulty is what I want to focus on. So let's say, what are the parameters that are defining the difficulty? Well, the first thing is the number of rooms, right? Number of rooms. Because obviously if the dungeon has, 20 rooms or he has like 3, makes a lot of difference, right? So, and the number of rooms is one of the parameters we are already using when we generate the dungeon, right? Now, the next one is the number of locked doors, right? And the next one is the number of trapped doors. And we can say the next one could be the number of brute forcible gates, right? Because we have this possibility to brute force the a gate. So we have that. And we have the number of traps. Let's say we have the overall number of traps, but then we have the number of traps inside the room, inside a single room, because the room may have multiple traps, right? And then we have the type of trap, but I don't know if the type of traps is really making any difference. So we have the number of the traps on the ground, we have the damage that these traps do, right? And then we have, in theory, the NPC, which at the moment we didn't... the number of NPC and the strength of the NPC, which at the moment we didn't really develop because unfortunately we have a technical issue and we cannot have moving NPC. We cannot have a moving NPC in the dungeon. But anyways, the number of NPC and the strength of the NPC. So I guess that these are pretty much the parameters that we have at the moment. Excluding the NPC a second, but these are the parameters we have at the moment. So when we say that the difficulty is 10, what does it mean? That if we say that the difficulty is 10, means that we have 10 for locked, 10 for trapped, 10 for damage, or do we want to have like 3, 3, 4, total 10, right? So should we have like something like, if I say difficulty 10, should it be like 3, 3, 4, or every parameter is 10 when the dungeon is difficulty 10? I think probably I want 10, 10, 10, because if we do 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, then I have to decide if I want one thing or the other. I think the difference is that the door can be locked or trapped, or it can also be both. It can be locked and trapped, right? Like we have seen in my examples. Also, I'm not completely sure that I really want to have the dungeon as it is now, that is at the beginning. There is not much, right? I think we can have the beginning a bit lower, but it should not be that much as it is now. I think at the moment is really too much. I mean, too little. Because at the moment the only consideration for the door is actually the position in the path, right? But like here I have already a bit of a better algorithm. Hello, Hula. Good evening. Here I think I have a bit better algorithm already of what, you know. Who is actually deciding? Who is actually deciding? I think each object should have his own. I think each of these parameters should have his own algorithm, you know, for deciding when is difficult, not difficult, and configure itself accordingly. I think it's the easiest way. And I think it should be percentage-wise. I don't know if I want to have a function that is determining the difficulty, right? So this thing is this thing global or is just for traps? I think this thing is pretty much global. I mean, it's 3 lines. I mean, I can copy those 3 lines on the other side, but if we do that, yeah, but I think this should be probably a common function. Yeah, would be a good idea actually. Would be something like get difficulty based on get difficulty for room, right? And as an input, he has the actual difficulty, and he has the room position in path, right? And this guy, yeah. Yeah, so probably it's better if we always use that function instead of this mess, right? That is probably a bit cleaner. It is a bit cleaner. Now, now this is the this assumes that we want to scale the difficulty. The deeper you go in the dungeon, the hardest the difficulty is, right? Which I think it makes kind of sense. Hello, tutorial. I think it kind of makes sense, so probably this is the way I want to have it. I'm not 100% sure and convinced, but I think it's okay. I think trap types are not really... I mean, there is not a harder trap and a simpler trap, right? I think we should consider traps pretty much the same difficulty. But then here, what do we do? Because here the problem will be that we need to have at least 10 scripts, right? Or 10 different scripts. Or we need a way to pass a parameter to that function, to that thingy, right? How did we solve the last time the parameter, passing the parameter to the Because we had the same problem, no? That we wanted to pass in. We wanted to pass in a parameter to the loot to the loot set, right? If I remember right. Because we wanted to randomize the potential loot that you would get. Let me see. We wanted to pass. No, at the end I just decided to do the randomization inside the chest. Yeah. At the end we decided to do the randomization inside inside a progression script. What was it? Yeah, exactly. So we are basically deciding the loot inside of that. Well, we could do the kind of the same. We could have a random, but I need to know. This is good for randomization, but it's not good for scaling the loot based on the difficulty of the dungeon. Makes sense. We think this better difficult depending on how strong and skilled the player are coming to in and where the random generator can work inside procedural dungeon. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I mean, how much we want to scale it based on the player? But you know, the problem is that you may have a group of players, right? One player can be strong, another player can be new. So it's very hard to scale a trap, right? Based on the players. If it's multiple players, if it's one player, it would be easy. But if it's multiple players, how do you know, right? No, I think the difficulty is absolute difficulty. I think the difficulty is absolute. Because I understand what you mean, but how can I know which player, you know, is, I mean, and also which skill he has? Because maybe there is a player that is very strong, but he cannot pick locked doors, right? And he basically cannot do the dungeon. Or is a player that is very resistant on fire and I don't know, the traps are all on ice. And so the random generator inside the procedural dungeon, I don't know. Yeah, in theory yes, but in practice would be unpractical. Because you don't know the locations, right? Up front. So you will have to define dynamic locations inside a dungeon, and it would be a bit of a mess, I would say. It's a bit too complex. I don't know even if it's needed. We are already generating something, so we can just generate it, right? So I don't know why I need to connect to the random generation. I'm already random generating the dungeon, so I can just add what I want. Okay. So that function I think is okay. I think if it's a brute force or else, I think it's pretty much the same thing. So I will probably call get difficulty for room. Again with my difficulty and in my in difficulty and my positioning path, right? How do we call this thing? Scaled something. Huh? Difficulty scaled. So this will give me a difficulty scale between 0 and 1, which takes into account the room position and the overall difficulty. Where pretty much if everything is at maximum is at 1, right? Anything is at minimum is 0.1, because we said that we clamp it to 0.1. So do I want to have like do I want to have like a damage that actually scales, right? And so I need to prepare like 10 different scripts from 1 to 10, something like this. I think maybe even more than 10, because I think it would be nice to have the same script just with a parameter, right? But it seems, I mean, even if file script, I think is no, it's the same thing. It's still a progression event, right? What was the problem? The problem was that passing the parameter from the loot chest was not that easy. I think because I didn't want to have the Maybe I can have it here though. Let me think about it. These are the trap properties, right? And these trap properties are so whenever my interactable I'm trying to understand how to pass the difficulty to the trap, right? Or to the trap on the ground or trap on the I'm trying to understand that. So if I go with is when I try to use the object, right? It's basically inside of this. When I do activate trap, right? I'm getting the script to run, but I don't have the parameter, right? I don't have any parameter. Well, I think it would be nice to have, because then I will be I could define here, you know, a parameter 0 in case it exists and use it, right? Yeah, I think that would be nice. So if we could do something like this and then say param 0. Now I don't remember this param 0. Right? Yes, exactly like that. Exactly. So if I have a fire damage, with a parameter now, right? Do we want to have low fire damage parameter, medium and high, like to have like 3 versions of it, or all the difficulty is given by the parameter coming in? Because actually that parameter coming in can be, I mean, we can have a base value and then multiply by that, or we can have a percentage of that. This is not very easy to envision. Like, so let's say that I do 50 damage, right? Do we want the script to have 50 damage and then my difficulty, like changing it up and down? Or do we want the difficulty to actually determine the full set of HP? So the difficulty 1, I don't know, is like 12 damage. Difficulty 2 is like 20 damage. Difficulty 3 is 50. So if you want, we can make the exponential. We can make it Well, in theory, we can make it exponential also in the other way, but I'm saying if you want to define how many HP in the script, or you want to define how many HP in the difficulty, in the trap, right? I think if I do it in the script, I will have just to change the script to actually scale it differently. If I do it in the trap, I will have to modify... I will have to modify the traps. I don't think there is right or wrong, it's just a difference, you know, and can be a bit easier or not. Let me think about it. Hello, Resalolpt. Use percentage where normal difference could do 100% difference of difficulty. Where normal difficulty could do 100%, okay. Easy go for something like 75% and so on. But so we decide the damage inside the script here. So for example, we have difficulty from 1 to 10, okay. We have difficulty from 1 to 10. And we can define, right, that difficulty 1 is always the same amount of damage, and difficulty 10 is always the same amount of damage. Or we can just use that to multiply, right? So that the script is saying 50 damage, and then it gets multiplied by the difficulty, like in a percentage, yeah, somehow, right? So like it can be from 0.1 to 100, like we do already. So our difficulty is from 0.1 to 1, right? Is a number that goes from 0.1 to 1. So I can just multiply it by that, right? And I get my... So basically it means that in the script we will have the maximum, and then it will be multiplied by that number. So we define what is the maximum, and then we multiply. I think it would be very nice to use resistances though, because we have resistances in the game, so it would be nice to do, if you have a specific poison resistance, so it would be nice to have, you know, damage by... I don't know why we don't have a default damage script by type, right? By damage type, but I think it would be probably a good idea. I don't think at the moment we have... I think every spell, you know, everything is defining its own rules, but I see we have some lava damage and some flame damage, but these ones are not scalable. Like for example, this one does 100 HP, minus 100 HP. This one does minus 5 HP. So... And then we have Fire Burst. For example, this Fire Burst is a bit smarter than this one, because this one that we have in production is at least checking your resistance to red wave, right? And is applying a certain magic resistance to it. Which I think it kind of makes sense actually. He's also applying agility. I know agility is to escape it. Agility is like the hit roll, right? To escape the damage. So you may escape the damage by agility. But then the actual damage... The actual damage is 48 multiplied by the roll, which is just the random, multiplied by 0.01, multiplied by the resistance, and multiplied by the hit. Wow, it's very weird calculation actually. I mean, we can come up with rules, I don't know. If the group have a small chance to still be in life after the room 4 or 5 is okay. Logion. I'm trying to determine what are the rules that I want in the dungeon for actually spawning the stuff and how hard should be that stuff, right? So how many HP should do and how we scale it. I mean, having some magic resistance, I think is anyway a good thing. I don't know if we have a poison resist. I mean, I think we do, but I think we have resistance only to... I think that this part of resistance should be redone a bit because, like, so we have a poison resistance, right? But this poison resistance is given by what? By the actual potions, right? Yeah. So if you... Poison resistance. So we only have the 6-way plus the poison, or we also have other shit. Sometimes our problem, guys, is we don't have enough documentation of our system. That's the problem. I'm trying to write as much as I can, but I would say it's not very easy. These are all spells, so spells are kind of easy because they all go incendiary arrow, poison. Yeah, it seems that we have poison plus the waste. I think we don't have anything else, which is already good. I'm not saying no, but like freezing storm goes on blue way, right? Yeah, I think it makes sense anyway. Para 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 pa pa pa. Pidi 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 pidi. Pidi 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 pidi. Pidi 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 pidi. I think you can't have a solid rule. Things work different level. Could be multiple multiplier. Resistance works like percentage. Poisons also with percentage. Dog save time instead of reading me as an occur. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to document all I can in our wiki, right? But if I search resistance, I assume we have nothing. We have it. Who wrote this page? Me, October 21. Good boy. Pat on the back. Pat on the back, good boy. Through versus mean you can get the resistance of several times per gen. For example, in current creation, your choice will determine some of the resistance. You can keep in the item in the spell resistance. For magic, there are 6 types of resistance. Brup. There are also other damage type of specific resistance. Poison resistance, disease resistance. Nice. How do I get disease resistance? I think it's probably just an item. Yeah, if I'm drinking this thing, which I don't know what is it, but... Raging fever. Okay, good. Very nice, I have this page. Because probably I had exactly the same problem, that I didn't know which resistance is and I just wrote it down. Fantastic! So... Wait, the music is like too loud. So okay, so how do we associate the damage type to these resistances, right? Because like for example we say, oh, blue is automatically ice and red is automatically fire, right? But right? But do we have which is not always true, is not always the case, right? It's not always true. It's not always true, but if I search, for example, crystal wave damage. Summon missile, life infusion, energy arrow, dazzling light. So is this also for electricity or is only for light and missile shower? These are all our spells. I mean, some of our spells, right? Because the problem is between blue and nah, it's a bit of a mix actually. It's a bit of a mix. It's not really. So usually it is so Azure usually is psychic damage, right? Psychic and mind damage, whatever. Crystal is energy. So is energy or blindness, right? Or light, blindness or light damage, right? But like electricity, I don't know exactly where electricity is. I think it's a bit scattered between those because actually we have electricity. I think we have hands something. What is the spell, guys, that is giving you electro touch? Yeah, electro touch. Electro touch. Electro touch is going on red. Really? Yeah. So actually red is fire, lava, and lightning. And energy. So actually energy on Crystal Way is probably not really the best, even if there is like energy arrow, right? So it's a bit of a mix. I think we should keep probably lightning on red, and energy, which may be a different kind of energy, like a beam, like a laser, I don't know, on crystal. And then usually on dark we have what do we have? End of Doom, demonic form, weakness, darkness, test of that, immigration, crystal aura, shadow form, mandrain, necro touch, terror. There is no real dark energy per se, so I don't know exactly how to express it, but it should be I think we can add void, even if we don't have in our game the concept of void, but at the moment. But I think it makes sense, right? So no, the void I think is not good. No, let's say drain. Everything that is drain, and in general weakness. So it's like a drain and weakness damage, right? And therefore, for brown there is poison again, I guess, because well we have vegetation, earthquakes and blast. That is kind of natural, all kind of natural form, but this one is a bit harder to say, but. Let's say is generally impact damage like rocks, sand, wind, vegetation like thorns, right? I don't know, this kind of things. And plus we have poison and disease. Okay, I think that is good enough anyway. So the point is, if you want to make a script, right? A script for different type of damages that is generic enough and is scaling on difficulty, we could create one script for each of those, right? With a difficulty parameter at the beginning. Now for the dungeon, I don't really know if energy and light damage really make any sense, but potentially it does. And so basically separating fire and lightning will make no sense, because it's only one resistance, so it can be the same script. You don't resist in our game. You don't resist differently to fire and lightning. So okay, so we can do that. Okay, so I think it makes sense. I'm starting to like it. So this means that I have to do what? I have to create a new progression script for each of those. So I will create a new progression script that is called, for example, like what? Like energy damage, and then randomize. I mean, we put the R&D to say randomize, because, or we can say parameter, or we can say param, energy damage param. Yeah, maybe like something like that. Energy damage param. And then the script will be, well, the script actually needs to be with the resistance, right? So the script can be something like that, right? HP, but here we will have value, right? Value, and then we say, for example, but we have to put the maximum, right? So it will be like 100 multiplied by param 0. Because our parameter goes from 0.1 to 1. And then we can say a burst of what, yeah. The message will be a problem though, because the message, the message will not be very easy, because I have to, depending on what it is, boys. But I will have to get my target variable Brown way resistance, right? Divided, so we do max between M resist, max between 0 and 200. 1 minus Brown way resistance. So if I am at if I am at 200 resistance, 200 divided by 200 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, if I am at 100, it will be 0.5. 1 minus 0.5 will be 0.5. Okay, so it goes, also this one goes between 0 and 1, where 0 is the maximum resistance. So basically we multiply this guy by, okay, I understand. So I will have to do something like I don't think I want to roll, right? I don't think I want to roll, but I think I want to have my magic resistance. And so this one will be crystal way, right? Crystal way resistance, blah 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 blah, and then my damage, right? My damage will be 8 plus power, but I don't think I want to have that. I think I would just say, I mean, I assume the value can be a script, right? Wait, if I do HP value, well, I assume my value can be, no, we always specify it without, I don't know why. I think we can, it seems to be very clean. We put the variables at the beginning, which by the way is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea anyway. I think we can keep the same logic. So actually the damage will be 100 multiplied by my resistance, right? Half damage, I mean half damage, this was if we needed the saving throw, right? And if you are like resisting to the magic, but that I think is not required. So we just say minus damage, right? And then we put in our param 0. I think it's not target, but it's actually actor in this case. But anyway, and then we say, hey, the message though, the message can be anything. So, or we also pass the message, but at that point, you know, it would be kind of easier to just not do it with a script if you want to. Should we? No, I want to do it with the script because the script is so powerful. Resistance param as a name. Maybe, but I don't want to make it too long, but energy. Hey, the problem here, we can say a burst of energy, you know? A burst of energy gets your hand. We can keep hand everywhere, assuming that, or we can say gets you burned, gets you damage, gets a burst of energy, damages you. A burst of energy damages you. Okay, for now I think it's fine. And we can have a specific effect, right? Which at the moment is trap fire for everything, but I think we can change it and make it, you know, kind of different based on different resistance. So, because if people see a different visual effect, they may understand better, you know, what is it. And it's not too hard because I think we have many already, so I think it will not be hard to find, you know, 5 or 6 different. So the only problem is that we need to close the let, otherwise this will not work. Huh? Okay, I think that like this is pretty much so script let fx hp, and then here we have all our variables, right? So I think that this thing should work. Huh? This thing should work. I mean, we can test one and then copy the others. Yeah, let's test maybe one. So this means that I will be able to define, yeah, I need a parameter 0. And this parameter 0 is something that I don't have defined anywhere, unfortunately. I don't have defined anywhere, so we have to add a new thing to our trap properties, which luckily is global, right? This trap properties is the same for every object we have in the game, so which is kind of cool because so I don't have to. So the trap script is okay, but I need also another variable that is my trap script param 0, right? And it is the parameter to pass to the trigger script, right? So we need that. We need that. And so when my trap is, so which means I also need to change all of this, huh? Yeah. Why I have this? Must be a reason. Not completely sure why we have that, but fine. I don't remember actually why we have that. There's probably a reason. So let's keep it. Okay, so now if I recompile, in theory I will find all the places where the trap property is not created in the right way because we added a parameter, right? Okay, so now we need to pass this parameter so let's recompile and see what happens. Now it's compiling. Yeah, but basically now that we have that, when we create the trap here, I think here we will be here we can randomize, right? We can randomize between the different scripts. So I can probably make an array of all these scripts on the same way we did it. I don't know if I want to do it. Yeah, but I think it would be a good idea. So it's set in the blueprint. I think it's the same if it's in the blueprint or in the code. Anyway, it would be hard-coded somehow, right? I think in the blueprint probably is a bit more elegant, but yeah, but pretty much same shit. So we can say we can add a new configuration parameter here, which is trap damage scripts, right? And this will actually be an array of f strings, and this will be trap damage scripts, right? And we can start with 1, which is okay. Yeah, exactly. The first one is exactly here, right? Because this, I would like to get it from... So maybe we can create a function, even if it's very simple, but just to avoid putting an array here and doing a mess, right? So I think we can create just a simple function that is called like, give me a random... This thing is starting to be, something, this one was what? Get difficulty for the given room position in path. Difficulty is the overall dungeon difficulty, and that shit, room position in path, is the room position in path. Is the room position in the path from loot to entrance, to dungeon entrance. Okay, so I think we need a get random trap damage script. So something like that. And this returns an f string, and that is returns a random script from the one specified in trap damage script variable. Right? Meh. So this will do what? Will we just random range. We just random range between 0 and trap damage script dot num minus 1, and then it will return trap damage script over nd. Okay, that is kind of good. So in our case for now we will always return the same, but fine. So here now, instead of doing fire damage, right, we call this function. What happened? Oh, okay. So instead of calling this, so that is what? On a door. Do you think it makes sense to also have a... Yeah, I think it does. Yes, okay. Also on a door we can have, right? Not only on the ground. I think it's the same. Ground or not ground is exactly the same. And then we will have the difficulty. And the difficulty is actually this one, difficulty scaled, right? Difficulty scaled. Then we have the strength of the trap and the reset time. The reset time, wait, this thing cannot be a value, eh? We have to put it somewhere. We have to put it on... We didn't do it yet? I think we did it, no? Yeah, trap reactivate time, exactly. Trap reactivate time, now it's 60 seconds. Why doesn't like my thing? Huh? Boolean, yes. String, yes. Ah, wait. We need to add param 0. Ah, because this one should be a string. Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, it's to be a string because we don't know that parameter. What is it? It can be a word like a name, or it can be a value. So to the trap we pass it as a string because the script will get it as a string, and then it will convert it. So now this is the strength of the trap. That is the strength of the trap. I think also for this one we need another function because it needs to be consistent between the door and the trap, or no? Well, do we want the door to have the same damage as the trap on the ground? Well, probably yes. Maybe with some minor variation, but I would say that for now we can consider it the same. So I think we need another function that is called, which actually is a float or what? No, it's an int. It's an int that is saying get trap strength, right? And this one is getting what? Is getting the difficulty again and the Or it's just getting the scaled. No, it's just getting the scaled at this point, I think, right? We don't want to scale it twice. So based on the scale difficulty, position and difficulty, returns, what return? Returns the trap strength, right? So that's one, I really have no idea, but let's say that we want to go between 0 and 200, right? We want to go between 0 and 200. At the moment, when you are deactivating a trap, there is nothing that is used. I think we should use agility, because there is no skill for I think it's on agility, no? I think it's on agility or intelligence. It's intelligence. I think it can be a mix. It can be a mix of intelligence and agility, right? To remove a trap, I think it should be a mix of the two. So like how good your hands are and how good your mind is to actually remove the trap. Yeah. We will have to think to the formula, because at the moment we don't have such a formula in the game. That is one of the things that we don't really... And in theory there should be a mini game, right? Yeah, there should be a mini game on this thing. Okay, anyway. Step by step, boys, otherwise we will never go. So get trap strength should do what? Should so if we say that we go from 0 to 200, yeah, we just do 200 multiplied by difficulty scaled, I would say. So at the moment it's as simple as this. Isn't that a bit too much? Meaning that you are, when you are at maximum difficulty, you have the locks that are like at the maximum. Because I have the same problem with the locks then. Because there is the trap. Wait, there is the trap strength, right? But then I have the locks as well. And the lock also has a strength, which at the moment is the same. Yeah, but I think it's the same reasoning. I think it's exactly identical. Lock and traps. The problem is that it's a bit of a pity, right? That if you have two players and they have the same intelligence and the same agility, they can open the same way traps or locks. So can we base the lock on agility and the trap on intelligence? Yeah, maybe something like that. At the moment, how is the peak locking working, guys? The peak locking is doing what? The peak locking... No, we don't have peak locking in progression. How is it possible? No? Is in math scripts? I mean, there must be a way, right? Lock picking time, lock picking experience. Can you fail a lock picking today or no? I think you can fail, right? So how do you fail? Wait, I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. Calculate lock picking experience. Yeah, but there should also be a lock picking possibility, whatever. Result. Check if the user has the right skills. Ah, there is a lock picking skill. Ah, yes, sorry. Lock picking is actually a skill. Lock picking is actually a skill. Now that I remember, yes. So we could you never found the time to up your lock picking skill. You should, Ulla. It's always useful, you know. Maybe you forget your key outside, and you know it is long to up. Yeah, but in this dungeon you will up it very easy. Uh-oh, Gion lost 10,000 points. Boom. Boom. Okay. So it's fine. So we can still go between 0 and 200. So I think it's the same. So I think this function, at the moment, this function, we will call it trap lock strength, right? We will call it trap lock strength. So it's exactly the same for the two. And then if we need, we will change it. And at the moment is 200 by the difficulty. Right? Fine. So, okay. So if we, and then we will tweak it, okay? But let's assume that is good. Let's assume that is good. So instead of this 50, now I have my get trapped strength, which is much better. And instead of this 50, I have my get trap lock strength, right? Okay. Then there is the one place traps in room. Place traps in rooms. Exactly. So this one also will be get random. So this line actually will be identical, no? Yeah, it will be absolutely identical. This one is identical. This one is identical. Okay. Let's recompile like this. So we already did a good expansion, right? So the expansion that we did is that we decided that we will have a script for each. Maybe let me put it in the plan, right? Let me put it in the plan of stuff to do. I don't know. So is create one script for each damage type, right? To be used in traps. To be used for traps. Then add the ability to use or add the ability to use one parameter 0 for the trap scripts, right? Add a list of scripts as configuration in the dungeon, right? In the dungeon object, right? And at the moment we did all three, right? We did this, this, and that. We did this, this, and this. We just didn't test it yet, but we did it. We just need to see if it actually works. Get trap strength. Wait. Yes. Get trap strength. We need our difficulty scaled. Here and here. F trap property does not take 5 arguments. Right? Probably because it didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, because it didn't have the. I don't know if we have difficulty. Yeah, we have difficulty scales. Okay. Easy. Easy. Can you haven't been a dungeon with 0 lockpicking skill? It's a good point, but I would say at the moment, no, because no, at the moment, no, you will have to call someone. But I mean, we can generate a dungeon with difficulty 0, right? So basically, you will have the we can generate, when we generate a dungeon, we decide the difficulty and the loot from 1 to 10. So we can say difficulty 0 or 1 and loot 10, right? If we want, we can do it. And that would be like an easy run, right? Or maybe difficulty 1, loot 4, right? So that would be a very easy run. And maybe at the beginning we would do it like this. And then there would be some dungeons that are very hard. And maybe you need a group of people. But yeah, maybe at 0 difficulty, we will not have anything locked. I don't know. We can decide that. We should decide that. I don't know. I don't know, actually. We should remember to get this guy and copy it in our PS Unreal. Scripts for traps. Let's say new scripts for trap damage. Yeah, I have to remember to add all of those. Yeah. Now, the good thing is that we are using the underlying systems, right? And so now that we build more and more pieces, we are using like all the scripting, you know, all the damage, all the effects, all of that is already done. I don't have, I mean, I just need to call that script and it's basically doing everything for me, right? So it's actually removing the HP from the player, is showing a visual effect, is doing it in multiplayer, other people will see it. If it's in a group, it will remove the HP from the group window. I mean, everything is already working, right? So it's just a matter of, right? Hello, the real Joel. Just saying my final goodbyes. Well, I will be here tomorrow as well, so, you know, you can say goodbye for today, but you can get back tomorrow. So I want to generate on my dungeon. So on this guy. And then, so now we should have a new parameter, right? I don't know where, but we should have a new, how did I call that? Trap, should be after traps. Here it is. Trap the mage scripts. Okay, so now Now the damage scripts are for all the traps. So the only thing I need to do now is to add this guy, energy damage param, whatever. So this is one of the damage scripts that will be triggered when my trapped I thought before I watch what I love. You watch what you love? Yeah. You like what we are doing? I hope you like it, man. There's a lot of work, I tell you. There's a lot of work. Okay, so... Okay, now that we have that in the script, and so the C++ code will be able to read from that, right? Yeah, I think we can just test it and see if we get a randomized. I don't know. Let me launch it because I don't understand anymore where I am in terms of code. I have no idea. But in theory, if all worked, we should see this message, right? We should see a burst of energy damage you. And we should get, in terms of damage... Ah, no, wait, I'm not passing... Wait, no, we're missing a big piece. No, wait, stop everything. We didn't pass in the parameter 0, eh? Param 0 we didn't pass. So, param 0... Wait a second, huh? Param 0 is this guy, yes. Param 0 is this guy, which is the param that I'm passing to the trap properties, and until here is fine, but we didn't pass it when we are actually using the trap. So here. Exactly. 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 So basically we need... yeah, this thing is a bit messy, I would say, but these are basically we have different type of objects that are using the same functionality. So we have a number of objects that are using the same trap functionality, but they are actually different, completely different classes, right? Items, interactable items, dungeon traps. And so I have to do this mess here to get the values from the proper object. Right? Now, wait a second though. I think there is a problem. Well, param 0 can be empty. Yeah, it can be empty. So for the normal interactable, right, that I don't pass in this param 0, from the normal interactable that I don't pass in the param 0. Yeah, it will work because we will run like the normal fire thing. I mean, we have to test it, but I think that is okay. So param 0 will be this thing. Ouch. Why? Ay. What do you mean? What? I cannot have a string. Are you serious? Can only be a number? Yes, can only be a number. But actually, it's already a number at the beginning, so... Yeah, it can only be a number. Can only be a number. Can only be a number. I don't know why, but can only be a number. Can only be a number. Okay. Well, well, we make it a number. We don't have another way. We don't have another way, boys. We make it a number. There is no way out of this. We make it a float at this point, at least, right? So at least is yeah, we make it a float at least. We make it a float, so it can be at least, yeah, it can be a float or an integer. This is gonna change few things though, because now because now because now hey, we pass it as a float. We pass it as a float, there's no way. It's the only way. It is the only way, there is no other possibility. Go, 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 go. Go, we need to move on. There are some changes like this that are like underlying system, right? And they are not really making, I mean, a very visual difference for you maybe, but they are very important because they are making the underlying system more parametric and more scriptable, you know, and more flexible. So meanwhile this thing is compiling, we can create all the others, right? So we will have an energy damage, we will have duplicate, we will have what? I think we said all the damages, right? A freeze, should we call it freeze or ice? Let's call it ice. Ice damage. So ice damage will get blue way, right? Blue way instead of crystal way resistance. The formula at the moment is the same. And we can say, instead of a burst of energy, we can say a shard of ice or a blade of ice. Shard or blade, it's the same. A blade or a blade of ice. A blade? Let's say shard. Shard of ice. A shard of ice. Or an ice explosion. A shard of ice. Again, I will find the right names. And at the moment, the visual effect will still be this one, but we're gonna change it. We are gonna change it. The next one is fire. I think we already have something like that, but what happened? Uh-oh. I think I pressed something and Well, let me save. Right away. I think I pressed something and the view changed to be a burst of fire. How can I see grid text grid? Bro, please give me back my view. No. 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 I basically changed the view somehow and it's fucked up the panel. Is it now for everything like this? No, only for that. Only for that one. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna close it and reopen it. Because I don't know how to change it back. Yeah, exactly. Ha ha ha. We're named like damage. Okay, fire damage. Okay, did he compile or not? Failed. Cannot convert from F string to float. Float. Okay, now I should be back there. Diablo 4 music. Well, I'm getting a bit sleepy. I'm getting a bit sleepy. Are we making progress, huh? Wow, this compilation takes freaking forever. You know that Ryder answered me? Ryder answered me and they said that I should apply as an open source project, but I wrote them again and I said, hey, are you sure that you understood my question? Because we are not, you know, we are not open source today, but we have been producing open source software for a very, very long time. And maybe we will be in the future. Because their requirement for open source projects is that you must have a number of public commit, you know, in a public repository with one of the approved OS licenses, right? And so we will automatically fail that. Because at the moment our code is not online. But what I said, well, but we have what? Ah, yes. By the way, there was a mistake because I said from int. I should have said from float. So there was actually a mistake because it would cut off that. But anyway. Okay, let's go. Let's go and test. Do you want to go in debug mode? Well, maybe. Yeah, let's go in debug mode. Let's launch the server in debug mode because I guess stuff will happen. So what do we want to see? We want to see the message, whatever, a burst of something, yeah, of energy. Yeah, burst of energy damage you, right? If that happens, we are in good shape because it means that the wall thing, and also I have to check my HP, and based on the difficulty of the dungeon, so now I said difficulty 5, right? So if I generate a dungeon with difficulty 5, the damage will be... Well, depends, because... Depends on the position in the room, actually. The ram roll, let's go. Basically, they told you to take the 50 off offer. No, because open source is free, no? I think no profit is 50, and full open source is free, I guess, right? That is what I think we saw yesterday, no? Open source project, free license. By the way, not only for Rider, for all the JetBrains tools. So I can get every single product that they have on the list if they approve us as an open source project, right? I don't know what other products they have, but anyway. No, I mean, the answer to the mail was, hey, we have an open source option. You should do that. This is what they answered. And I said, well, your open source offer is saying that I need to have a public repository of sources, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's see if this thing is locked first of all, because I don't know. I mean, if there is a trap, I mean, I can just try to open it. A burst of energy damages you. Fantastic! Look at that. How much damage did we take? Not much, right? 195. 185. So about 10 damage. About 10 damage. Okay. If I go to the next door, which will be one deeper. Let me see if I can unlock this thing. By the way, I made it a bit higher so I can actually go through it. So if I use this one, since we are one room deeper, right, the damage will be higher. So from 191, 181, it seems to be the same though. Let me slide through this door just for fun 1 second. Let's go a bit deeper into the dungeon. Maybe because it's too low, and so we clamp it to 0.1. Uh-oh, here we have a small problem in front of us. So 187. 177. Let me go this way. Let me try this one. We are still not very deep into the dungeon, but 181, 171. It seems to be always about 10 HP. This one, 173, 163. It seems that the multiplication by the difficulty factor is not really working. 165. 156. I mean, it is kind of working, but not really working. Because there is the loot room, right? You see that box? That box is actually the loot. So why? Let me see how much damage I take here. 160. Holy shit! I took 100 damage. So it seems to work on the traps, but not on the doors. Because I took 100. By the way, there are arrows here. I just missed it. But there are arrows. I didn't even see it. So why the doors are not using the same calculation when I said in theory that they should? Good point. I don't know. Spawn door on connection, right? We have the positioning path and we have the difficulty exactly in the same way, right? And we calculate the difficulty scaled with the same function, right? So the result should be the same. And I'm passing the difficulty scaled. But wait a second. A door is different from a trap because the door is actually an interactable. A door is actually an interactable, and so what? And so, yeah, but I modified all the pieces, no? Yeah, but it's another object, param 0. Param 0. But yeah, we said that for the door. Interactable. Activate trap. Activate trap. Trap script param 0. I think I'm not setting the trap script param 0 on the door. That's possible. Yeah, correct. I didn't set the param 0 on the door. Strange. I didn't set the param 0. What do you mean? No, it's here. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So you mean that we are not using the same script to activate? No, I hope not. We are not using this script to... No, for sure we are using the script on the door. For sure. We are in debug mode anyway, so let me see. Let me see what happens. So this door hopefully will not kill me. So if I click on this... Yes, we arrive here, right? And then we should go inside interactable... yes, we go inside interactable. Yeah, we go inside interactable, right? So this should have param 0 as 0.1. Yes, 0.1. This door. This door is 0.1. Is at the end of the freaking thing. How can it be 0.1? Huh? 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 I don't know exactly why, but it seems that we are putting in a wrong value, right? For the door. For the trap is correct because it did 100 damage. It did 100 damage. So, but for the door, or the positioning path is not correct. I mean, we can generate a new dungeon actually and check difficulty scaled. I could add difficulty scale to no, I have to be debug or whatever. But yeah, we can delete the dungeon and create a new one. So let's do it. Dungeon delete. Boom. You see? Nothing left. Fantastic, huh? And now we create a new dungeon. Okay, let me see. Difficulty scale 0.1. F5. Difficulty scale 0.1. F1. F5. It's always 0.1, bro. Difficulty 5. Positioning path 0.75. 0.68. Why is coming out always as... Huh? Positioning path. No, but sorry, positioning path is not from 0 to 1, no? Is it? Ah, yes, yes, it is. I did something stupid somewhere because it's not possible. It's getting... So if I have 5, right? If I have 5 and I have 0.6, right? What is the calculation? Calculation is 5 divided by 5, right? Equal 1. So difficulty scaled is 1. And then I multiply difficulty scaled, which is actually 1, by 0.62. So the result should be 0.62, no? Should be 0.62, not 0.1. And then I clamp between 0.1 and 1. So how the fuck... What? I don't understand this. How can this be 0.1? You crazy? Positioning path. Oh, fuck, is an integer. But why is working for the other case then? Because in the other case is not an integer, is not a huh? Wait. There is something weird going on here. Get difficulty for room. Positioning path is what? Is a float. And it is on doors. Positioning path. Positioning path. Positioning path is between 0 and 1. Yeah, exactly. It's between 0 and 1. So it must be a float, bro. Bruh. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what happened, but difficulty is actually from 1 to 10, and position rooming path is from 0.0 to 1.0 is a float. You may say, why the hell? Well, I don't know, I just did it this way. But yeah, the error here was that this was a float instead of being an int. It was an int instead of being a float, so it was being truncated to 0 all the time. Understand? Understand? Okay. Now we should be back. But I don't understand then why the trap was working, actually. Right? That's kind of weird. Why the trap was working? I don't know. I don't know at all. The trap did 100 damage. Holy damage. So actually I will die in this dungeon with my current health. Yeah, I will die. You know what is the... You know what is the funny thing? Is that if people are just rushing through without removing the traps, with this level of damage, they will actually die and go to the Death Realm, and they will have to do all the Death Realm to come back. So they will just give up. Or they will heal themselves continuously. Yeah, maybe that's another way. Potion, 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 healing, healing, healing. Take the trap. And so on. I can see if they answer to me again, but I think they will send me a message, no? If they answer to me. The JetBrain people. Ah, they answered already. They said hi, yes, or reach out directly to open source JetBrain. Okay. So yes, they are saying yes. They are saying that I can apply. I can apply, but they don't guarantee the result. At least not this salesperson. Because this salesperson is probably... But yeah, they answered that I can. That I can, but I need to apply to this address. I can apply. Okay, I can apply right now. I can apply right now, and I can put in the same message. Application to rider JetBrains rider. I should at least type their name correctly. And I will just copy the text, no? I will say hello. I will say hello, blah blah blah. Hello, I'm writing to you as your salesperson. Directed me to this email address. And I say hello, we are making blah blah blah. Links, done. Thank you for your consideration. Yeah, why not? Send. Let me try. No, I prefer to send the email. I prefer to send the email instead of just applying, because if I apply, they just ask you some basic question, but the email is more personal, you know, they see there is the real person behind, and I have all my text where say like we are making software from 25 years, blah blah blah. We have 1 million lines of code on the internet and whatever, and I don't know, I think it feels more, you know. So maybe we have more chances. More chances. Okay, we recompiled. Let's go and burn ourselves in the dungeon. Let's go and die in the dungeon right now. We have to change the formula for pick lock, for not for pick locking, but for removing traps. There is no remove traps skill today. There is a talent, I mean an ability. And I don't know. I think I should make it. I don't know. Need to think about it. I mean, there can be a small percentage of chance, but basically, if you have the skill, should be very, very likely that you remove the trap, right? At the moment, it's not. At the moment, it's like a 50-50. So if I have enough skill now, I can scale maybe based on, again, agility. I think it's a mix of agility and intelligence. I think I can take the sum of the two, and I mean, I still want a bit of randomization. Maybe it will be a mini game in the future. I think a mini game will be the best. So probably the dungeon generation is the first place where I will really add the mini games. No, I'm falling. I'm generating dungeons. Oh, 0.9. Ay, 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 ay. He will make a lot of damage. What happened? Okay, we are here. We are here. So, do we want to start from the beginning? Yeah, we start from the beginning. Yeah, my color is wrong because whatever. Because yes. So if we start from the beginning and we take, for example, that trap. Now I only have 116 HP. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. It's regenerating, but like this trap, it seems it's not moving, right? So I'm going like, huh. And then bam on my face. Ouch. I like how I was like waiting for me, you know, it's like, come here. Okay, I come here. Bam in my face. No, 30. We are basically dead. Well, I can die, so we are again at so we are again at max HP. And then we go there again. There it is. So we are max HP. I don't know why I only have 360 something, but fine. So this trap was already doing quite some damage though, because I had like 100, well, it was doing like 60. 310, 280, yeah, about 30. This one is doing like 30 damage. Okay, 30 damage at the beginning seems to be reasonable. Now this door, oh my god, there's another trap here. This trap should do a bit more, so 283. 238, so yeah, it's 40 something. Yeah, you see, it's increasing. The more we go deep, and the more is increasing. Now let me skip this door. There is another trap here. Another trap. Oh my god. How can I go there without... Let me slide myself forward here. So we are at 244. Boom. 157. This started to do very much damage actually. We didn't find one. This is the loot room, by the way. This is the loot room. I went through this without even seeing it. I didn't even see this. I just went through without taking damage. There is our chest that we can actually pick up. And we can actually open. You didn't find anything! Holy shit, the randomization, bro. The freaking randomization. Can you believe it? There should be also another way though, no? Like this way? Yeah, like this way. There is multi-loot in this dungeon, so we went that way. Ouch! Let me see how much this dirt does. 98. I may die, huh? 98. 7. Ouch! There is no loot here. Okay, but in general it seems it's working. So the damage is increasing the deeper you go into the dungeon. On the doors and on the traps. And we can now have multiple scripts of multiple different type, right? That are testing my different magic resistance or poison resistance or whatever. Now, the only thing we will have to do, we will have to add different spell effects, right? Because we don't want, you know, the same spell effect to happen. Okay, this is very good actually. So now, and consider that some doors may be trapped. Ah no, this one we didn't do yet. We also need to do. So some doors may be trapped or locked or not, right? And at the moment, I am not doing that reasoning. So at the moment, everything is locked and trapped. But I think we should do it based on the difficulty. So yeah, so here we add a lock anyway, right? And here we add a trap anyway. So what should be the percentage, right? What should be the percentage? I mean, do we just roll that difficulty on 1? I mean, like the same way we do it here. I mean, we can. If I do this, what happens? The difficulty. So here is the highest the positioning path. Yeah, basically at 1 you have a 100% chance, right? So here we can say, I don't know if this is good though. So if I randomize between 0 and 1, right, when minus or equal to my difficulty scale, which is also between 0 and 1, and on that I decide if there is a lock. I decide if there is a lock based on this. And then I decide if there is a trap. Or actually here we also have the brute force choice. We also have the brute force choice. So in theory we could rand 50-50. I think we could rand 50-50. Right? There is this nice rand bull. It sounds a bit funny, I know. So we could say 50% of the time is locked, and 50% of the time, I mean in case is locked, right? Locked or blocked. So in this case, what do we have to do? In this case, we have to do... We have to change these trap properties. We have to change these trap properties because we have to say that brute force something. No? No. Ah. It's not like this, huh? Why? So it's probably on the door. Brute force. Ah, here it is. Brute force is locked. No. Brute force difficulty. Use when it's possible to activate the gate door by brute force. Difficulty factor is from 0 to 200. 0 means it cannot be forced. Okay. So my brute force difficulty should be between 0 and 200. So it's exactly the same as this. Is the strength, right? So if I set this and I set this, yes. Now the problem, yeah. Now for the trap, I think for the trap, I want to give it a slightly less chance that is actually trapped. I mean, because the trap door start to be annoying, right? So maybe we divide the chance by 2. Something like this. I'm not completely sure what should be a good, you know, percentage, but I feel that if we do the trap, I think it should be something like difficulty scaled divided by 2. So it's harder, right? It's harder to get a trap. But you can have a trap and a block, right? Yeah, you can. Trap and a block is kind of funny. So someone trapped a door that is actually blocked. But yeah, I think this way will make more sense. Uh-oh. I think I added the wrong parenthesis somewhere. I think I added the wrong parenthesis. Ah, no, it's here. Ensure it cannot be picked up. Why? Ah, yes. All this is valid only. Yeah, all this is valid only in this case. Because is when you have a lock, basically the door becomes a lock. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So if it's not locked, what name he will have? I have no idea. Interesting. Okay, let's test this like this, and then I'm going to bed because it starts to be late. It's after midnight already. It's after midnight. We don't have enough time to do this game, boys. We don't have enough time. Holy moly. Okay. So now these doors may be trapped or not. Fuck. This one was trapped actually. Ow. Ow. Fuck, I died. I died. What the hell is going on? I died. Yeah, we need to fix this percentage of chance of removing the trap because is too difficult at the moment. But he was only doing 6 damage. How did I die? I was like 0 HP. Remove the freaking trap. Remove it! Okay, removed it. Now, it may be locked or brute forceable. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we crashed. We crashed, boys. We crashed. Okay, but I will fix it, but I have to go. Interactable actor, we crashed while trying to toggle it. Why? Interactable actor 154. Interactable actor. I think we missed something. I think this if I fucked up something, like maybe this was needed in all cases. If we don't have at least a basic item, you will fuck up. Yeah, probably yes, actually. Yeah, probably yes. Because now interactable actor 73. Yeah, I think that's the case because it was working before, so I think it's this change that I just did now, right? Interactable actor 73. 73 can toggle interactable actor. Oops. Can toggle. Yeah, get item. Yeah, exactly. Check if the item is locked. Well, but in theory, okay. There is a bit of a stupid code though, because get item must be valid, right? Exactly. So this code is completely stupid. So at least we need to be sure that the item that it exists, right? And then if it's locked, okay, we say that it's locked, but But yeah, so why do you think it will work now? Okay, let me do this last test. Last test. World of Goo. There is a game that is called World of Goo. Oh my god. What is this? Wow. It looks kind of interesting now. Wow. 400 million gallons of imagination. Okay. Let's try again. So if the door is trapped and you can brute force it, do you get 2 icons or what? I don't know. I think I never had a door that is at the same time trapped and brute forceable. So I don't know exactly what will happen. We have 286 HP, yeah? Okay, this is the first door, so it should not be too evil, right? There is a trap, though. Okay, we removed it. And then this door is locked. Okay. Okay. But it seems the percentage is still pretty high, though, because... You didn't find anything suspicious. Use? Ah, this one was normal. No lock, no trap, no anything. These traps are a bit too easy, eh? We didn't find even one of the new traps. No, we didn't. Strange. Ah. This one we can go through easy. I have the fireball trap, right? But we didn't find it yet. I don't know why. Nice. Ow! What was that? A blade. I didn't see it. Ah, it is the fireball thingy. You see this thing? Now it's very slow, so maybe I should make it, you know. I should make it faster, right? Because it's very, very easy to go through. But I think the result is kind of nice. Yeah, it stops when you exit the room, like any other trap. Now this one doesn't finish in the same position. Okay. Can just do this. Yeah, depends when you exit, if it's closer to the top or to the bottom. But anyway. Ah, you see, we have both icons. Brute force. I successfully brute forced. Can I brute force it again? Found a trap. Deactivated the trap. What do you mean? I just brute forced it. You try, but you cannot move it. No, we brute forced it. No. Ouch. Wow, this room has a ball and a thing going down. Wow. This room is interesting. Will I survive? 137 HP. Uh-oh. Ow. This room is locked. Yeah, but it seems to be working, but the brute force seems is not working to deactivate it. Fuck the blade. Fuck the blade. Yeah, but it seems... I mean, with this randomization, it starts to be a bit less boring, right? I think it starts to be a bit better, because now we have different kind of traps, certain doors we can brute force, we can lockpick, we can trap, so it's slightly better, right? It's starting to become slightly better. Now, before making it fun, I think there is still quite a bit to do, but I'm already pretty happy with what we have, right? And I think secret passages would be fantastic. But secret passages, unfortunately, it will not be very easy. I have to think about it. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go. We did quite a few pieces, which is good. So we did this stuff. We also enabled more randomization. We decided the difficulty types, and we decided the scripts that we need to have for each of the damage type, which I think was a good discussion. I think that's now kind of final, so I can create all the scripts. Next, next is a good question. Next, basically we worked on this point. We worked on we work on scale by difficulty and loot quality, right? So that is what we worked on. It's not finished yet, but we did a good piece tonight. We have to do this, add some randomization, and then we need to define enter and exit. But then I also want to have more traps and more rooms. And I would like at least to be able to add 1 or 2 monsters that are actually not moving. And then I was thinking, if I should just have locations, locations like this one, like all this corner, right, that is identified as furniture, so that we can spawn random furniture in the room, just to make it look nicer, right? Because at the moment there is absolutely nothing apart from the blades, but there is kind of nothing at the moment, right? So, and maybe we can have like a cage, like a weapon rack, like things like this, right? Yeah. Okay. I think that's all. Thank you for watching. I will say bye-bye. I will see you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. And have a good one. See you soon. Bye. 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 Bye, bye, bye. Remember that you can play our game, huh? You can download it right now. It's on the website. A small dungeon for training. Yeah. I mean, we can regenerate it in game as much as we want, right? You can just delete, create. So if you are a game master, you know, if you're a game master, you can dungeon delete, boom, and then dungeon create. Which one is it? This one. Boom. Ah, that one. I don't know what happened. Why is it so small? Strange. Strange. But then you can dungeon delete again, and you know, dungeon and create and go. It's a bit strange that the one was... Okay, this one is big again. So you can do it multiple times, you know? The game master can just generate, and people can just have fun, you know, going through the dungeons. So yeah, sample, training, yeah, I mean, you can generate as many as you want. Now, one problem we need to think about is if players are actually dropping items into the dungeon, what we do with them. I think I will have to think about it. But I think when we destroy the dungeon, we can search all the items on the ground and destroy them as well in this sector. Because anyway, we are inside a sector, so we can do that. Bye bye. It's pretty nice to fly around, by the way. I really like it. See you. Goodbye.